Last week, there were 35,000 people that all competed to make a game in 96 hours for the Game Maker's Toolkit Game Jam. That's the most amount of people that ever signed up for a game jam. That's bigger than any basketball arena, and that's 34,670 more people than are subscribed to me. And that takes 2 seconds, by the way. And I decided to be one of those 35,000 people who enter the jam. God, I can't keep getting away with it. No! The jam is hosted by Game Maker's Toolkit, and the most coveted prize is to make it into his yearly video where he showcases the top 100 games in the jam. And this year, I'm in the most prime position to give my best shot at making it into that video. Tell me why when I click on it, it disappears. Okay, time, 10 seconds. Upload. If you don't know what a game jam is, it's essentially a competition where you have to make a full game in the set amount of time. Every single one of those games have to follow the same theme, and this year's theme was Countdown. My projects first started off with some basic movement, and I created a little test scene so I can see my player move around. Here we go. And I'm getting basic movement in, because it's not, I think the game isn't really going to be focused on movement, so I don't have to go too crazy with it. And I think later I can probably polish it up, make it look better. But I've made a couple 3D games in the past, so the 3D movement didn't take me too long. The first thing I thought about working on was a camera shake mechanic, because I knew I wanted to add that to my game. Okay, that's a decent amount of shake. I mean, that's max shake. I'm just an idiot. I'm checking whether a larger timer is smaller. If the time is larger than this big time, I don't know how to explain it, but I actually messed up. Without too much time passed, I had a guy moving around and a little camera shake function. I added this button and a countdown. Anytime you press the button, the countdown resets. All right, look at that. Basically, the game's almost done. So I bet you're wondering what my game's even about. The first idea that I thought of was in the TV show Lost. They have a timer that counts down, and they have to enter a code to reset the timer, or else well, I actually don't remember the consequences. It was kind of a confusing show.
You've killed us all? No, I just saved us all. Huh?
So here's my idea. You're a worker in a nuclear power plant when everything goes wrong. The nuclear reactor starts to melt down, and you have 60 seconds to complete whatever task that's assigned to you before the meltdown happens, and that'll reset the timer. So the next thing I wanted to do was model the reactor control room. So I started with some boxes and connected those boxes, and well, I'm not the greatest at 3D modeling, so that's about it. I finally finished up modeling the control room and got my character in there. Look at that, we got a little room. You can go to the next room. Very dark in this room. And then I started looking for some free assets on Polypizza to try to spice up my level a little bit. I found a couple assets like this barrel, this arc reactor that I can maybe manage into an actual reactor, this weird pipe thing, and the scene is still kind of looking empty, so I added a hole and then added some rails because we're OSHA certified here, and a fan that spins. And it spins. Yes! And then at this point, for some reason, my game turned into a horror game. I don't know if it's because that's the only type of lighting I know how to do, and because these textures are already kind of cursed. But besides that, I just decided it's a horror game now. So that's the game we're making. I don't know if you're seeing these wall textures, giving a little Backrooms-esque. I added some desks for people to work their 9 to 5, which, if you think of it, is kind of the scariest part about this game. After you save the plant, someone still has to come in on Monday and clock in. And then at this part, I started doing math for some reason. Yeah, I apologize for anybody who had to watch this on stream. Now we have a problem. My game is lacking some, well, it's not good. It's not good. So the one thing to make your game feel better, add some sounds. Crunchy rocks. I need something that's like on hardwood floors. Kind of like this one. It just seems so HD. Brother, why is this in like the other room? Yeah, that's pretty good. Ooh, hold up. That could be actually not too bad. And then I went back into Godot and started adding every sound effect that I would think of. It was starting to feel a little bit better. Go to the button! Wait, what happens if it loses? I actually I haven't tested this out yet. Game over. There's no reset button. So I had to start getting some tasks in there so you can actually play the game. So then I found this free fuse box model and decided I can use that for my game. So then I took it and started making my first task, which is a task where you just have to connect the wires back and forth, which is a completely original idea. I first got the logic for it. Oh, okay. And then I got some sound effects. I mean, it's kind of giving horror game vibes now. Kind of cool though. And added some bones to my wires. And then they kind of looked a little weird, but it ends up working out. So I started on the fuel rod task, and then I kind of went overboard with the emission on the fuel rod, but I think it looks cool, and sometimes that's all that matters. So now it's time to program this task, and that takes hours of bug fixing and actually setting it up. And oh my god, wait, that just worked. No game would be complete without some quick time events. Bang. Now the problem is, it's kind of hard to know how to play the game. I decided to make the tutorial part of the game. So I found a TV model. I added a test video, which is just some static on the wall. And then I went into DaVinci Resolve and made my own tutorial video that'll just play in the background for anybody who needs it. This ended up being a lot harder than I thought. Wait, what happened to... Wait, what happened to the second part of the tutorial? Why didn't it show up? So after all that, it was 2 hours left and I decided to get some music into the game, which shouldn't be too hard because I could just find music online somewhere. But I think after this, low key, what we need to do is make some music for the game. I gotta become a composer here for a second. Yeah, no, 2 hours left. I decide I'm gonna make a full song for my game, despite the fact that I have no experience making a full song for any game. Time to get my composer on. Brother, I haven't... Oh, God. What am I doing? Why am I making a hip-hop beat? Wait. I need a violin. Okay, pause it. Where's the violin? Okay, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Maybe we had the claps here. They're not ready for the claps. Oh yeah. Don't. That's it right there. No. What should be the name of the song? About a nuclear reactor. Oh, fallout. Fallout love, dude. Oh my god, I can't keep getting away with it. And with Godot's sound effects and music handler, I had it into the game. This added so much to the game. Making a song with the vibe and feel of the game in mind makes the song feel so much more integrated into the game than if I just found one online. So that's it. I had a player walking around. I had the timer going down. I play tested it for a couple hours and found minor bugs, but we don't worry about that. There's some off keys in my song, but we don't have time to fix that. All right, everything looks good. And there it is. I finally got my game submitted in time. Damn it! Saved. Oh my god, we did it. Oh my god. 96 hours later, my game is finally submitted. And after 35,000 people entered the jam, only 10,000 people actually made a game. So how did I do? And out of those 10,000 people, I got just over 5,000. Yeah, I'm gonna do better next time.